Hello students, welcome to the Company Law and Administration class. We are dealing with the fifth unit of our syllabus. So we have started our last unit, that is Global Company and Ethical Practices. So in our previous lecture we have completed the administration of global companies. Now coming to the next concept here is organizational structure of global companies. So here when the word we hear structure, that means how it is being formed. So the global companies, when we say that the businesses are beyond extended, beyond the boundaries, that is when the two foreign companies are coming together and doing the businesses, how they should function or how they must be how they must function so that their business can run successfully. So here the organizational structure of MNCs, it refers to the system in which the parent company, that is a host company where the original company is being incorporated, and their foreign affiliates work together. So what is the pattern? How are they going to work together? So even it includes the relationship between both the companies. So here uh, in structure also means that how to enter the foreign that is how to enter with the trade with the foreign companies. So here the first point here say that is the organization structure of MNC depends on certain factors, in which the first is here legal requirements. So here, when they enter into the agreement, the first thing is here legal requirement, that is both home country and the that is foreign country. They have to be clear with the regarding to the formation, registration, and operation of the business entity. That is, first they need to fulfill the certain legal requirements. Then international agreements between the various countries of the world, then international commercial treaties, that is of the world, that is you have to enter with an agreement. Then how is the political environment in a host country? So like businesses settled in two different countries have the two different political background. So when you are working in the US, you can't apply the political rule of this host country. So you have to follow the wherever the company is operating, the respective political environment should be followed there. Then coming to the nature of the product that to be produced and sold. So the products and the services are provided according to the taste and the customs and preferences of the people resident in that particular country. Then next is pressure from international bodies, that is when you are entering into the business with the other country, you have to follow some of the rules and regulation given by these international bodies such as IMF, International Monetary Fund, then World Trade Organization. So these have given certain prescribed form wherein the business have to work. So this was a structure of the global companies. Next, coming to the legal formalities and administration under Company Act. So here, as a foreign company is situated outside the India, which intend to operate the business in India, has to comply with the legal formalities as required by the Companies Act. That is, if some other foreign country are settling their business in India, then they have to follow the Indian Companies Act of 2013. So here, what does a foreign company means? So here, section 2 subsection of 42 subsection 42 of Companies Act says that foreign company means any company or a body corporate incorporated outside the India. That is, we call it as a foreign we call it the foreign when the company is situated outside India. Then it has to place a business in India, whether by itself or through the agent physically or through the electronic mode. That is, you have to place it outside India, whether physically or through the electronic mode, and conducts a business activity in India and in other manners. So this is of the meaning of the foreign company. Then Next is here is modes of establishing business for the foreign company, that is how are you going to set up the foreign business. So when you plan that your business you want to extend, you want to come with a collaboration with the foreign companies, how will you do that? So there are modes of entering. One is through the joint stock company, that is through a not joint stock company. One is through the joint venture, that is two company coming together for doing a same business. Then after that, an unincorporated entity can license office or representative or a project or a branch office in a foreign company. That is, you can have one of your company's branch in other company, or you might have any representative of your office working there, or any of the offices or the projects that is taken up. So these are the ways, like through ways wherein you can collaborate with the foreign companies. That is, if you want to establish your business in a foreign country, you have to go through these ways of foreign collaboration, joint ventures, then having a branch offices there, and through many other ways. Then coming to the application of the Companies Act to the foreign companies. So here what application is required for the foreign companies. So here section 379 says that where not less than 50% of the paid up share capital, whether that might be equity or preferential or partly equity and partly preference share, they must they must held by one or more citizens of India. That is, if you want to do a business with a foreign company, then here in India, one or more citizen of India must hold more than 50% of their shares. Those shares may be equity or preference, or equity or only preference. So here they must have one or more companies at least, or they must have a corporate body which is incorporated in India, or he must be citizen of India, or one or more companies or body corporate which is incorporated in India. That is, to become a foreign that is to enter into the foreign market, any one of these can be required. That is, he must have the holdings of the shares which are more than, it should be not less than 50%. It can either operate in equity or preference shares, or if he want to be a part of a company or incorporated in India, or a company's body corporate incorporated India. So these are the points wherein they can come through the application of the companies into the foreign companies. Then coming to next here is legal requirements. So what are the legal requirements or the legal paper necessary when you enter into the foreign collaboration? So here first here is documents. Most important thing is documents. So here every foreign company within 30 days of its incorporation of its place business in India have to deliver to registrar for the registration. So within 30 days, if the foreign company comes here, it has to submit certain documents. So here document contains certified copy of constitutional document such as charter, status or memorandum and articles of the company, or any other important instrument or the document which consists uh, or defining the constitution of the company. And if the instrument is not in English, then there must be a particular person who will translate the language. So they should provide any one of these documents, that is articles or memorandum or constitution or instrumental constitution which defines about the company. Then coming to the full address of the registered or the principal office at the company. Then next a list of directors, secretaries. Then next here is the name and the address of the one or more person who are resident in India, and they will be authorized to accept on behalf of company service of process and any other notice or other document served. That is a person who is a representative, his name and address is to be written. Then the address of the office which is in India, Then next is opening and closing of the place of the business in India. That is, if earlier they have like opening and closing of the businesses, then declaration that none of the directors of the company or the authorized person in India has ever been convicted. That is, they shouldn't be convicted or imprisoned or should not be involved in any of the fraud cases. Such declaration is required, and any other information that is prescribed. So, when you are entering into the agreement, so the documents which are required first was here, the first important thing is certain documents. So, the documents include these all points, that is a full address, then the name of directors and secretaries, then their residential address, then the address of the registrar office, that is office which are deemed to be the place of the business in India. Then the declaration that the members of whoever are related to the company are not involved in any of the fraud cases, and any other information which is necessary. Then after documentation, here we need is additional information for the registration. So here additional information includes the personal name and person's name and surname in full, his father, mother or guardian's name, then the date of birth, then their residential address, then their nationality, then if the present nationality is not the nationality of origin, then his nationality of origin, that is where he was born, then passport number, then when it is been issued and what is the last date, then PAN card number, then occupation, then DIN, that is director identification number, and CIN is corporate identification number in case like holding the directorship. Then next here is other director or the directorship held by them, then number of the members, then here their email address, then they have to fill down one form called as form number 1, that is FC1. So, explaining this FC1, so it is when it provides, it says that when a foreign company shall within the period of 30 days of its establishment of its place of business in India, it has to file with the registrar the form which is called as a FC1 with a certain amount of the fees. So, it seeks for the approval for the establishment of the business in India. Then our first point was here document, and the second important is additional information which is been required. Then now coming to the next here is financial statements. That is, providing of the financial statements is necessary. That is section 381 of the with the rule 4 subsection 1 of the Companies Act, it says that the certain documents are necessary, such as documents required or attached in accordance with the chapter of 9th, that is account relating to that particular section. Then latest consolidated financial statement of the parent company as submitted by the authority in the company, that is in the country of its incorporation under the provision of law. So these are the certain important documents, that is a financial statements which they need to provide. Then if those are not in the English language, then they have to be translated. That translation is certified here. That then after this financial statement, we requirement for filing of attachment of the financial statement, that is following are the points which we need to attach with those documents. In case of like statement of related party transaction, then here the name of the related party shall be included, then the name of the person in India which shall be deemed to be related party, that which will cover a foreign company or a subsidiary company of such foreign company, holding company, and a firm in which such foreign company is a partner, and a subsidiary company. So here along with the financial statement, the declaration of these statements are also necessary. Then here when it comes to the statements of related party, then in case if they are already holding any firm which is a foreign company, then name of a such relationship, then description or nature of the transaction, then the amount involved in that transaction and what is the reason for such transaction, then material effect for both the parties of such transaction, then the declaration that such transaction carried out at the arm length basis, and any other transactions which are relating to the finance and has an impact on finance, that must be clarified here. Then after these necessary documents, the next point here is statement of repatriation of profit, that is a profit, what profit shall include here. So profit shall include here the amount of profit that they have earned during the year, then the receipt of repatriations, then the forms, then the date, then the detail made at the jurisdiction other than the residence of beneficiary, then the mode, then the approval of Reserve Bank of India or any other authority prescribed. Then statement of transfer of funds. So here the statement of transfer of fund includes a relation of a fund transfer between the two foreign companies and any other party which is residing outside the India, which includes its holding from subsidiary company, which includes such as a date of transfer, amount of fund that is to be transferred or received, then the mode of receipt or transfer, then the purpose, and again the approval. After this point, then the sixth point here is display of the name etc. of the foreign company. So that is section 382 says that we need to disclose a certain information about the foreign company, which includes its name, that is outside of the every office or the place where they carry the business in the India, the name of the company and the country in which it is incorporated, that has to be put there. Then all the business related return letters, then the letter paper, notices and other official publications of the company have to be displayed there. Then the liability of the members have to be displayed. Then finally coming next point here is annual return. So here they have to file up the annual return. So here the Companies Act specify that within 60 days of the financial year ends, they have to file for the returns. Though for the filing of the return, FC4 is a document along with the certain fees they have to file the returns. Then coming to the next point here is last document or the last necessary thing which need to be submitted is prospectus and registration of prospectus by the foreign company. So here the section 389 says that no person shall issue or circulate in India any type of the prospectus for subscription the securities of a company incorporated outside the India. That is, no one can easily subscribe or can purchase the shares which are outside the India through the way of the prospectus. So here when the firm will not be established a place of the business in India unless before the issue, circulation or the distribution of the prospectus India, the copy thereof certified by the chairperson of the company along with the two directors of the company having been approved in the resolution by the managing body have been delivered to the registration to the registrar and prospectus or a file face of it that the copy shall be delivered and which is been endorsed or attached to the copy and any consent in the issue of prospectus required. That means here if while issuing the prospectus there are the certain procedure which need to be followed, that is a consent of the chairperson with the passing of a special approval or the resolution in the meeting, then it can be issued. So the documents which are related to the prospectus are the contract copy during the appointment of the managers or the directors, then a copy of any other material which is not entered in the ordinary course of business, then the underwriting agreement, then the power of attorney, that if the prospectus is signed by the authorized agent of the directors. So these are the necessary documents which are to be filed while entering into the foreign business. So legal requirements. So here first legal requirement was delivery of the documents. Then second was additional information required. Then third was form requirement for filling the form FC1. Then next is financial statements. Then requirement of the filing attachments with the financial statements. Then display of the name and etc. of the foreign company, then annual returns, then finally prospectus and registration of the prospectus by the foreign company. So these are the 8 important legal requirements which are necessary when we are entering into the foreign collaboration. So I hope you all are clear with today's class, which describes what is the necessary documents or requirement to enter into the foreign transactions.